Hey, you guys know what time it is. We're going to be looking at judo techniques as used in John Wick. Shout out to the judo Reddit community for helping me source these fight scenes. Y'all have been so supportive and that makes this so fun. Who knows, maybe the next one will be about one of the other movies mentioned. Okay, here's technique number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Yeah, this one. Number 5. Now, just like the last video, if you can perform all these techniques perfectly, you can name them and you can tell which ones are kind of questionable and might not be judo. This video is probably not for you. You know I don't mind wearing black for John Wick. If you haven't seen our first video in this series, please go check it out. Every martial artist out here has got to give it to Keanu Reeves for this performance. As an actor who has learned martial arts pretty much for these roles, he's done a phenomenal job. Yes, judoka will be nitpicking his technique, but overall just awesome. As we go through these techniques, I'm going to be using for reference 2 books. One is Kodokan Judo, and the other one is Best Judo by Isao Inokuma. I'm also going to be using the Kodokan's YouTube page and the YouTube page of other judoka who are teaching online on YouTube.
Keanu is always quiet and shy, but you know, he's a hard worker.
Okay, enough waffling. Let's roll the fights and get into it. I think that this is actually a variation of 2 throws. The first throw, the primary throw that this is the Sode Tsurukomi Goshi. Alright, here is Sode Tsurukomi Goshi. It is the lifting sleeve pull hip throw. So this is a great technique if someone is holding your wrists, or if you're initiating, you have their wrists. Sode Tsurukomi Goshi is a hip technique, which means there needs to be some kind of hip contact on the throw. That's the fulcrum. And the hands are just doing something really cool with this one. I always think of using this one if someone grabs both my wrists. But yeah, you're basically using the other person's stubbornness on your grip to control their body and throw them. You don't want them to let go. But you might notice something else in there. This wasn't the classic Sode Tsurukomi Goshi. He throws in the leg, as in Harai Goshi.
Opponent forward, I block this hip, look, I elevate with my legs here. Yeah, I have to come in, bend, elevate, and then rotate him around that leg.
Overall, I love it. If you notice, those leg kicks to the knees are not useless. They're actually a great way to get your opponent in position for a throw. This kind of choreography just makes John Wick look like a super educated martial artist assassin. There's so much forethought going in, like he kicks the leg to get it back, tries one way, doesn't work, he goes for the other way, and it's a beautiful throw, and he throws in the leg for good measure. What more do you want? All right, next throw. What is this, Throwback Thursday? Just like the last video, we have another Tomoe-nage. You might notice though that this Tomoe-nage doesn't have the foot on the abdomen. He actually hooks the foot under the thigh. If there isn't enough distance, that's actually like the variation that makes sense. I've seen wrestling and BJJ guys do this more. As someone mentioned on Reddit, it's also really common in spy movies, especially from like the 80s. So yeah, Tomoe-nage, an oldie but a goodie. Let's keep going. We should call this guy John No Knees Wick. because he never uses his knees with any throws. The whole water in this scene is just really adding to the effects of these throws. I'm a fan of the splashes, it's great. They kind of hid John Wick's feet this time. I'm not surprised because he kind of does a step to get into the actual throw instead of a pivot. Still, this is one of the coolest throws in judo and it's worth going over again and again.
This is the grip that's really key in this throw.
So there are a couple different entries for this one. The classic way is that you step in with your right foot if you're right-handed, and you pivot on the right foot, spinning your left foot back, clamp the arm, and take it over. But I have seen in Best Judo like a different variation where he actually steps back with his left foot instead of stepping in with his right. In the last video, John Wick does this cool thing where he does a right knee and then goes into the technique, which I think was really badass. All right, let's keep going. So this is what I would consider one of those questionable throws. I call this one the Hollywood because it just comes up in movies again and again. Okay, before I tell you what I think, what do you think that was? Or if you know what that was and maybe I just don't know what that was, leave it in the comments. Alright, if we had to classify it by judo terms, it is some kind of sacrifice throw. It is happening from the side, so it is a yoko.
It's probably some combination of yoko wakare and yoko guruma. So in both cases, these are, I think, sacrifice throws, and you basically throw your opponent over yourself, but you initiate it by throwing yourself first. And here's some descriptions for those who are keen.
I mean, John Wick gets style points here. I like the way he rolls with it and he kind of ends up on top. I think in the traditional ones, the attacker just throws the opponent. But yeah, beautiful. Let's keep going. Or if he was trying to be nice, he would have actually held on instead of like letting him go. But John Wick doesn't like these guys. He's just trying to kill them. Okay, so not gonna lie, when I first saw this, I wasn't sure exactly how to classify it. My first thought was that this is some kind of a foot sweep. The thing to keep in mind is that dashi harai is a forward foot sweep. So you have the guy, you pull him, and as he steps forward, you just sweep it before it touches the ground. You're really only making contact with one foot. With okuriashi harai, you're sweeping both legs. You're bringing one leg to the other leg, and it's not necessarily coming forward. It could be like diagonal or even to the side, or probably even backwards. By the way, old school judo players will call this barai, not harai. But upon further review and looking at the slow motion, I had to admit that this is a hizaguruma, or a knee wheel. The kick comes, he catches it, and then he's got to keep him going in that direction, right? So he sticks out his foot, blocks the knee, and like I guess you could use this hand to push his head over and take him down like that. This is our last one. Roll it. Fuck was that? I don't know what that was. You have to be super strong to do it. I think you gotta be even Russian to do it. But yeah, I'm just gonna call that the Zangief and move on. Okay, that was our video. Thank you so much for watching. I love making these videos and looking at judo techniques. And since I'm an instructor in Muay Thai, I really like looking at the striking into the throws. I think that's a lot of fun. Hey, if you liked the video, let me know in a comment. I'm Sharif from Culture Toronto, and I'll see you next time. Peace.
Mir.